morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Give me a yes in the question box if everything's okay audio-wise. Is my volume okay and so on? It looks okay on my end, but you know how these things go. This is Dr. Quila, and this is an IceLife webinar, May 29th, 2012. Do give me some feedback real quick. Can you hear me? Just put a yes in your question box. See on your panel where it says questions? You can also raise your hand if you want to talk, and I can unmute you at any time if you have a comment or question. I want this to be somewhat interactive. So can everybody hear me?
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, there we go. The start broadcast button wasn't working, so I got it working. All right, now can everyone hear me? Just put a yes in your question box if you can. Obviously, you won't be putting a no if you can't hear me, right? All right, this is IceLife webinar on pain, a little bit different application for the IceWave patches that hopefully will give you some insight as to how they work and what's going on with the IceWave versus the others. Thanks for your feedback, everyone. I got your yeses, okay. And I'm assuming if there's 3 yeses, then there's probably 8 yeses. Okay, great. And again, raise your hand if you ever want to say anything, and I can unmute you. One of the reasons that I was led to do this webinar, because let's face it, the IceWave patch is definitely a long-term patch for LifeWave, and many of us have used it. In fact, that's one thing I'd like to know. Is there anybody here who has never used the IceWave patches? Put a yes in your box if you have not ever used it. And is there anyone who has been with LifeWave less than 30 days, say? Okay, so Delia, you haven't used it yet. Okay, and there is some people who have used it less than 30 days. Super. Thank you, ladies, for your feedback so that I can know where you're coming from. Then I'm assuming the other 7 or so of you that are on the webinar have used it, and I know some of you are experts at it. So the reason why back to that I'm doing this webinar is because there are still some things that I've discovered that I don't hear people talking about. And maybe you know this. So this will be recorded, and anybody in IceLife can review the recording later and play it for anybody they want to and watch it time and again. And those of you in my group, I can send it to you via Skype or Dropbox or one of those large webinar or large file capability programs, and you can then watch it at your leisure too and share it with any of your group. So here's my background, at least some of it. I'm real old, so I have a lot more, but it's kind of irrelevant for LifeWave anyway. And this is at one of the LifeWave parties. In fact, I think this is the launch for Eon. Chuck Michael's in the middle there, and Jimmy Murphy, one of our very first beginning LifeWave people that has been in for years and years. In fact, if you go up on YouTube and you watch the presentation on muscle testing, Jimmy's one of the people that was involved in that. And of course, Chuck Michael in the middle there is our $1 million earner that within, I think, 2 years of him joining LifeWave, he was making $1 million. He's a very dedicated person in LifeWave and has been with them since the beginning. I am going to somewhat minimize my question box. So if I do not see your question come up, raise your hand. I can see that. And I wanted to remind you that we don't talk about diseases because we really don't have any use to talk about them. And you'll see another discussion of that more in depth here in this presentation. We do symptoms only, and we definitely want to make this interactive, so please feel free to ask questions. And again, if you want to talk, raise your hand. See on your little panel there what your hand-raising capability is. All you have to do is put it up. All right, so on to the core issue here. This is, of course, the IceWave patch package. And we're talking about it in a little different way because there's some things I've discovered over the years about IceWave that's totally different from the other two-patch system in the LifeWave technology, which is the energy patches. And, of course, the IceWave is the pain patch, commonly called. And one of the things that I've discovered, and I say to people all the time, it doesn't matter what the name of it is. It doesn't matter what the cause of your pain is. It doesn't even matter how long you've had it. You can get, when you place the patches on certain areas, you can get relief, oftentimes within seconds, if not minutes. And it's not that they don't, quote, work if you're not getting that relief. It's that you haven't found, usually, the right placement. That is the major thing that keeps the IceWave from working, is placing it in the right place. So I'm going to give you some hints and helps here. So I want this, again, to be interactive, and those of you who have been with LifeWave and with me for quite a while, I want to know what you think the cause of pain is. So say you are, and you can put that in your question box, say you're talking to somebody, and especially old people. Old people have a great desire to go through the whole litany of how long they've had this pain and what the doctor said and how many ways it disrupts their life and so on. And so what is the cause of pain from what your perspective is? Go ahead and put that in your question box, if you will. Just a real quick couple of word sentences. I mean, a couple of word in not a, it doesn't even have to be a sentence. So start with that one. Okay, I'm getting some inflammation. Okay, super. A block in the meridian, definitely. Secondary gain, wonderful, Natasha. Yes, there's oftentimes a holding on to symptoms like pain, isn't there? Because people are getting something. Maybe their wife is paying attention to them for the first time in 20 years, huh? You know, or maybe they were able to quit the job that they hated. I've run into this a lot. They hate their job. So yeah, they've had some back pain, and so they want to get out of their job. Well, it's easy to get disability, or at least maybe workman's comp or something, and get paid a little bit to get out of this hated job. So yeah, basically the cause of all problems in the body is a block in the meridian flow of electricity, chi, or ki, whatever you want to call it, vital energy. So give me now some symptoms of pain. besides just pain. What are some symptoms of pain? Inflammation, was mentioned here in a minute ago, but inflammation you always can't see. Yes, great, Nan. Heat. Behind inflammation is often heat. What else can it be? What are some of the other symptoms of pain? Stiffness, yes, for sure. Janae, thanks. Anything else you guys can think of? And stiffness, along with stiffness would come lack of motion, right? Inability to raise that arm up above your shoulder and stuff like that. Yep, perfect. Okay, so the cause of pain, again, I think you've covered that with blockage of energy, right? Yes. So what can we do about it? Any things that you guys can think of to put in that question box? How can we assist the body to fix it? Because really with our technology, we don't do it. The patch doesn't do it. It's the body, isn't it, that's doing it. And so what is it that we can do to help our body heal a painful issue? There we go. Open the body. Yeah, reduce inflammation and open the chi flow. Absolutely. And then repair. Because pain's just a symptom of something blocked electrically or chi-wise. And so now, even though actually to some extent pills or medication actually blocks the chi flow even more, but it deadens certain sensory parts of our brain and so on, so we don't even feel the pain. And so that's how that does it. And then, of course, nutrition is the whole other side of what I call the healing coin. You have to open the chi up, and then you have to give the body what it needs nutrition-wise. And you have to have enough water on board. And along with water, sorry about this panel keep coming up like that. Every time I click to advance the slide, Easter Steve's wonderful first presentation where he shows you the cellular components and how they work. Oh, it's magnificent. I watch it time and again. And minerals are another part of it. Without the minerals on board, the body can't move the chi. It's kind of like if you've noticed that when you have, say, a salt solution. For instance, I'm boiling some eggs right now. I always put a whole bunch of salt in my water. Why? So the heat will move through the eggs and the water faster. It lowers the boiling temperature of water and makes my eggs cook faster, right? So that's what part of what minerals do, is they help energy to move faster. So the other thing that helps the body open the blockage and repair stuff is the environment. Now the environment's multifolded. Not going to get into it much, but I'll just mention your attitude, your thinking processes, the music you listen to, the environment that you're in as far as whether or not you're deep in the bowels of a busy, electrically charged city with all kinds of Wi-Fi and other types of energy disruption mechanisms that we all love because our cell phones work. But let's face it, it is a challenge to stay healthy in a large city compared to out in the country where nature is very supportive to health. So that's the kind of environment I'm talking about. So what really makes IceWave unique? It is a two-patch system, white and tan, just like the Energy is. And it does say make more ATP, just like the Energy is, or does, the Energy patch. And it flows energy in, at least gives the message to do that to the body, and take it out, just like the Energy patches do, but there's a little difference in IceWave. Here's how. It relieves pain and inflammation. Now, I don't have a comparison with Energy, but I know from the beginning we did get pain and inflammation decreased with the Energy patches, but not usually immediately. It was maybe 20 minutes later, the person would say, you know, my back was pretty sore this morning. It's not sore anymore. But with the IceWave, it happens within seconds, doesn't it? So here is a before and after. As you can see up here, these are the befores. Lots of inflammation. And then after, within 5-10 minutes, with the patches right here on each side of the spine, voila, look how much less inflammation. All the way down to here, because look at the before. Look at this one before. And now look, after. Look at all the cooling that's gone on. Well, that is a reduction of pain also. So, the main difference is with our Energy patches, we put them on points, don't we? Look at the brochure with the Energy, the red little pamphlet that comes with it, compared to the IceWave. The pain patch, IceWave, has a few places where you can be instructed to put them on points, like for the all-over body pain points. Kidney 1 is one of them, Heart 3 is another. But for the most part, like with the clock technique, even with the bracketing technique, you don't have to. You can put it anywhere. You can even put one patch in the front of the body and have the second patch on the other side of the body. Say, for instance, you've got pain like this guy does, and you can put a tan patch, say, right here, like the instructions say, and go to the front of the body and just eyeball it. You're not aiming for a point, an acupuncture point. And you can put that white patch in the front, and bang, you often get relief, just like what you would see down here with this one. And almost instantly. And say it's a 8 pain level, and you're down now to a 5. If you adjust either one or both of those patches, the one in the back and the one in the front, just a smidgen, just half an inch or centimeter, you will then get maybe better results. So a blind, deaf, mentally challenged person could do it, because in the beginning, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was aiming for acupuncture points, and I found, gee, I'm getting great pain relief. And I'm nowhere near a point, at least not a commonly known point. So, wow, I'm still getting results. We don't even have to pay attention with the white on the right and the tan on the left. Instructions like we do usually with the Energy patches. Any comments or questions here before we go on? So hopefully you got some patches handy. Does anybody have any pain issues? Or anybody in the room with you have any pain issues? Because let's try a little experiment if you do. Let me know in your question box if you do, and we'll walk you through it. Okay, we're getting a question here. It's a good one. and it comes up very frequently. Well, how do you deal with pain that's in different areas? I'm going to hang on to this because we may cover some of it from some of the other things we're going to deal with. But say, for instance, you've got somebody in front of you that has arm pain and then feet pain. Okay, I want to show you this, one of my favorite slides, that is showing you the signal that comes off the patch. Now this is a picture that's magnified of the white energy patches, and here's the tan one. One thing in looking at this you'll notice, of course, is these little fibers. This is a signal. This is light. This is like looking at sunlight coming off the sun. Some of those solar flares that you can get from NASA, and you enlarge them and you will see similar streaks and spider-like configurations just like this, where you see the patch has fired, and this is what the body picks up. Now this is a Kirlian type photography. Okay, here's the difference. Look at the white one. There's at least 2 big sparks there. There's only one here on the tan. Because the difference between the white is, the white says, take in energy. The tan says, take it out. So this is how we get the flow. That's why with these patches, it's best to use both the white and the tan, not just one. Now, I don't know about you, but numerous times I've had the experience where I'll say, okay, point to your pain, put your finger on it. I'm going to put the brown patch on, just like the instructions say. Now, what is your pain level? I know you said it was an 8 before. Now, what is it? And they say, oh, well, really, it's gone. Have you guys had that experience? It's mind-blowing, isn't it? So then what do? Where do you put the white patch? Well, if you put the white patch above or below or someplace nearby, like on the cross technique, you sometimes will get a worsening of the pain. It's almost gone, or it is gone, and now it's coming back. All you have to do to know where to put the white patch is, go to the exact opposite of where you are getting a pain response. Because what's the body telling you? It's getting worse. The energy's blocked again. Well, then, to put it in a place where it'll stay open, even though you don't have any pain to ask them for feedback with, you can put the white one in the opposite place where you're getting a return of the pain. Does that make sense? Okay, we've got some good responses here on some pain issues, so we'll deal with that here in a second. So any questions on the GDV, gas discharge visualization? Any questions there? Okay, we can always go back and forth. So here's a list of common complaints. I have fibromyalgia, sciatica, a fused vertebra, or maybe a disc that is exploding in my back. I have golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. I have a torn meniscus in my knee, migraine headaches, arthritis, restless leg syndrome, which can be painful, by the way, or neuropathy is nerve pain or nerve lack of sensation, you know, that tingly stuff. It can be any of these things, right, that you are looking at a person and they're saying, yeah, you know, I had shingles 10 years ago and I still have pain from it. Okay? It doesn't matter what the name of it is, right? Because What's the cause of pain? No matter what the name of it is? Blocked energy, right? So now they go on to, well, I had a car accident 6 years ago and my neck's never been the same since, or I took this medication, I had a horrible side effect, and I've had pain ever since. I fell down when I was a kid, broke my arm real bad, blah, 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 right? You've heard it all, those of you who have been around LifeWave for a while, or even just life in general. We've heard it all. It doesn't really matter what it's caused from, because we've got blocked energy. Maybe we even have scar tissue buildup. For sure, people have pain. That's all you need to know. So look at your pamphlet and look at that good old clock method real quickly. The only reason it's called clock or cross technique is simply because all you're doing is moving them around. So the cool thing is you can move it anywhere. Now, we're not exactly sure. Even Dr. Steve is not super duper sure why the ice wave is different from the energy. David probably knows, but he's not sharing it exactly. We just know, and in acupuncture we know, that even though you'll see these nice charts and pictures of acupuncture meridians, that's only the tip of the iceberg. Because like in Dr. Steve's lecture in the health and or the manual training for health practitioners, he shows, as we know in acupuncture, that in order for one part of a cell to talk to the next part of the cell, so that the cell can talk to the next cell, and those groups of cells can talk to the organ system that it's in, and the organs can talk to other organs, and so on and so forth. It's all connected. And there are micro connections that are, for the most part, hardly even being able to be seen with scanning electron microscopes. There are some wonderful pictures. I didn't pull them up, but on the internet you can look at scanning electron microscope picture of an acupuncture meridian. And I mean, we're talking much, much less size than a hair. It's microscopic to the nth degree, but they're made out of water crystals. For the most part, they think, because they can't dissect them. They're too small. They can't physically get a hold of it. So we think this is how the chi, or the electrical energy of the body, moves through everything. So that's probably how the ice wave works. It connects with that micro chi circulation. And no matter where you put that patch, when you get to the area that's blocked, voila, you get pain relief. So look at that brochure. You're going around in a clock or in the cross method. You're going to the opposite side of the body. You may even, when you look at some of the other instructions, like the whole body relief part, you are actually using an acupuncture point, like on kidney 1, and even on the head pain, you also are going maybe after a point. And for sure, with the knee pain and the lower back area, you're not going after a point necessarily. So this is what's so cool about the ice wave technology. The people that start out using it, that know nothing about acupuncture, don't need to know the name of the points, where they are, how big they are, small they are, what the name of it is, what does it do, it doesn't matter. You're going after pain. So let's go to, before we go to YH, let's go to some of these comments and questions you guys have made, because this is super duper important. For instance, Eileen has a person who has apparently degenerated disc. What do you think now so far, Eileen? Does it matter whether or not it's a degenerated disc? And again, you can write your response. Nope, doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter what the name of it is. Now, sometimes I'm so tempted to say to the person, well, it doesn't matter. But that's kind of discounting, number one, their confidence in their doctor, their importance of their pain, because let's face it, somebody with degenerating discs in their back, this is mighty important to them because this is life-changing. So it somewhat designates the importance of their pain to a lower level when you discount that it doesn't matter. But just know in your own brain, it doesn't matter. So what would you do, Eileen? You would say to that person maybe, in fact, do you want to be unmuted? Do you want to tell us how you would handle that? Because if so, raise your hand. We got plenty of time to play around here. Do you want to tell us? You have a microphone? Because I can unmute you. You just have to let me know. Raise your hand. See your little hand? Yep, you can clear the blockage and drink lots of water, but how would you do it? Specifics. Where would you put the white patch? Where would you put the brown patch? What would you say to the person? Do you want to go through it? Because it's a really common affliction. And I'd be glad to unmute you. Do you want to be unmuted? Okay, here you go. You're going to be able to talk. Okay, go ahead.
You are, what does that mean, you are unmuted, Ricky?
You can talk, and we can hear you.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yes, you are on the air.
Oh, okay. I don't know how to work these kind of things.
I know, so we're all learning, aren't we? Besides learning to use these patches, now you're learning to do a webinar.
Yeah, I bet you Eileen's having a kick at her house.
Okay. So how would you deal with somebody who says, I have a pain level of, say, an 8 because I have degenerating discs in my back? How would you deal with it?
Drink a lot of water.
Okay, yeah.
And I would put that white ice wave on top of his head, kind of above his head, and then the brown on his pain level to clear the blockage for about 10 seconds.
Okay. He's saying that it's an 8, and now it's only a 6. Now what would you do?
Then I would take it off, and then I would put the brown patch on his pain, and then I would use the clock method.
Okay, super. Okay, we got it down 2 more level. So now it's down to a 4.
Okay, well, after then I would put another patch. If it's still bad, I put a patch on his feet.
Okay, where on the foot?
Well, I would keep the tan on the back.
Okay.
Then I'll put the white one on top of his foot.
Okay.
And then, but that didn't help.
And you're not really going after a point, you're just going on top of the foot.
Yes, exactly. Well,
Okay.
I'm putting it by his toe, his big toe.
Okay. Say that doesn't do anything. Now what would you do?
Then after that, I'm lost.
Well, now, and actually, that may have done something. You know, I'm just being devil's advocate here to run you through all your options.
Well, I did all that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then after that, then I would put an ice wave, not only on his back, but then I would put an ice wave on the bottom of his feet.
Okay. Now,
That didn't help.
okay, say, for instance, you only have one set of Ice Wave. You don't have any others with you. You only have one tan, one white. And you put the white one on the point of pain, white one down on the foot, and the tan one on the back, and you got a little bit more results. First of all, I'd say, well, this is great. What else do you know that can do this quickly, no side effects? So make your point, because you may never be able to get it down further, but you still have a couple options. What else would you maybe do?
After that, I don't know.
Okay. In your brochure, someplace it says, go to the other side of the body. So you've got the white one on the point of pain, right? Or is it the tan one? Doesn't matter.
Well, I had the tan one on his pain.
Okay. So first of all, you could switch them, couldn't you?
Yes.
Okay. If you start out with the tan on the point of pain and you move the white one around a little, like on the cross or some of these other suggestions you gave us, and that's not working, switch them. Put the white on the point of pain. Put the tan and go around.
You put the opposite.
Okay? Because sometimes that helps. Here's another option. Go to the opposite side of the body. Well, where's that? That's in front. So just kind of stand aside. And by the way, remember everyone, we're not putting these on permanently. We are not taking the paper off. We are either just holding them for a few seconds, because you will get immediate relief when you get to the right spot, or we're taping them temporarily, even on his clothing maybe. So you've got one on the back and one on the front. That's not working either. Then what would you do?
I don't know.
Switch them.
Oh.
Okay, so say the white's on the back, the tan's in the front. Put the tan on the back and the white on the front. Don't forget to switch them. Because here's one of the clues that I found out real early. This is not, say, a new injury, is it? Degenerating discs have been going on in his body probably for years.
Correct.
This is not new. He didn't just wrench his back and cause this. It's degeneration process. It takes years to accumulate. So how about putting the white on the point of pain instead of the tan? Because what does the white patch tell you to do? Bring energy in. We know if it's an old condition, it's decreased energy in the area that's causing it. If you've just sprained your ankle, it's big and red and swollen, isn't it? But
Correct.
in a degenerative disease-like state, the pain that is there is caused from too little energy. So you can always put the white on old pain and try that. Okay?
So if you put the patch in the front, whereabouts?
Right
the same?
opposite where the other patch is, like you've got an arrow going through the body.
Okay.
Now say the pain goes down a little bit more. Well, then move one or the other patches just a smidgen, like a half an inch, one way or the other. Okay? And in all of these suggestions we've gone through with this wonderful example that you brought up, you are going to get results. And if you don't, I would bet that person is highly dehydrated. And it might take 10 or 15 minutes of sitting down, talking, have them drink some water, maybe put some crystal salt, either sea salt or Himalayan salt or something in it to help them get remineralized. Because usually if they're dehydrated and they've been drinking sodas and coffee and all the other sweetened and frankly poisonous drinks, they're going to be lack of minerals also. So now, what is old pain? I'm finding it's about 2 weeks. So say, for instance, somebody has, like Linda just brought out, an old surgery for a year or more. Well, I'm finding that if even 2 weeks old surgery, that it's best to start. I mean, it just saves you some time. As long as you remember to switch the patches, no harm done. You're still going to get results. So try the white one. What have you got to lose? Pain. That's about it. Okay, so put white first on the point of pain. Move the tan around. Do all these things that we just talked about. And I bet you're going to get 80–90% of the time you're going to get really spectacular results. And even if you only get it down 50%, what else do you know that can do that? I couldn't do it with acupuncture for the most part. I used magnets for years. I couldn't do it. Medications certainly don't do it. Steroids might do it, but with god-awful side effects. So there isn't much out there that can do what you just did. Okay, so now, I think that covers that one. So now Janine, or Janae, I guess it is, says, well, how do you deal with somebody that's got pain all in different areas? Say their arm is hurting, they've got a bad elbow, and their pain in their feet is killing them. All right, I usually, rather than go to the technique in the brochure that says all over body pain, what's my goal here? I want them to know that these patches work. Because let's face it, this is unbelievable technology. I mean, I went through this, you gotta be kidding, with even the energy patches, much less the pain patches. It was unbelievable what these things did. So these people need to have an experience. Telling them, showing them a movie, whatever, doesn't do it like an experience. So I would say, well, gee, Susan, where's the worst pain? Is your arm the worst, or is it your feet? And go after that area. Show them how that can be relieved. Now say it's both knees or both elbows or whatever. Go after one. Get good pain relief, and oftentimes by the time you get finished fiddling around, the other one will be better also. If not, it will be within a few hours. Because why? They're all connected. Now, in the moment, if you only have, say, just a few minutes with this person, fine. Temporarily put another set on the other arm. Get good relief. Then take it off and patch the one arm, because it doesn't matter right or left, right? We don't have to pay any attention to whether the patches are on the right or left side of the body. It doesn't matter with the ice wave. So get her good relief in one arm. Patch the other one temporarily. Get some relief. You've opened up the blockages. Take the second set off. Show them all they need is one set. And the other one will get better. Now we're going to go into some YH suggestions here in a second. And that sometimes kind of caps it off. Okay, so now let's see. Groin pain. Okay, and that is kind of a bugaboo, Delilah, because groin pain is hard to patch sometimes because of the creases that you might have to go to patch. So take out an acupuncture chart then and look at it, or go up on the internet, or like Nan has a app, as I do, on my iPhone, so that I can find where to patch for whatever. And Nan, I'd like you to share with us the name of your app. Mine is called Points. I don't know if it's the same one that you have. She says it's an app for smartphones on where to patch for pain. So share that with us in your question box, and I'll Oh, it's an acupressure, and the icon is the bottoms of the feet. Good. Can you give me the name of it, and I'll share it with everyone. And you can do a search, of course, in iTunes Store, and so it's called acupressure. Okay. I'm going to copy this, and everyone's going to get this. And I'll send it to everyone. So question box, see the answer there? It's acupressure, and the icon is the bottoms of the feet. Oh, and here's the URL. You are a doll. Okay, we'll copy that. Aren't these webinars fun? Here we go, gang. There you go. Okay, it's called Acupressure Treat Yourself. Okay, super. I have one called, and I will put that here. It is called Points. App for smartphones. I don't have, oops. It has a yin-yang symbol on it. I think yellow and green or something is the color. And so you can do a search in the Apple Store for those two apps. Oh, good. Now that's a whole nother way to go after pain. We'll go into that a little bit, Nan. Thanks for bringing it up. So back to where we were. The person with two knees that are bothering them. Go after one knee, get real good results. If you have to, for time reasons, go ahead and patch the other knee and see what kind of results you can get on the second knee. Then take those patches off and leave them with just one. Okay, I'm going to mute you again, Eileen. Thanks for working with us. All right, let me see what other questions we've got here. Okay. Now Annette is saying for some of these things she would go to the whole body relief section, and that sometimes works magically. I recently had a man who was in severe kidney failure. He walked in, he looked as gray as this slide looks. He didn't even have enough energy to get dressed. He had his pajamas and bathrobe and slippers on. He could hardly even talk. He was so down. He had this gray pallor. So I didn't want to talk much to him. I didn't want to wear him out. But I said, well, where is your pain? He was coming to me for pain. And he said, oh, my back is hurting and my thighs are hurting. So I just put a couple patches on the floor, pain patches. In this case, I did put the white on the right, 10 on the left. And I said, well, here, just step on these with your slippers. And I proceeded to ask his wife more details about what was going on. I forget the amount of kidney function he had, but it was like 17% or something. They're thinking of putting in a shunt and putting him on dialysis and so on. So after a few minutes, I thought, well, maybe I should go after some pain now, because I noticed that even though he had been dozing while his wife and I were talking, now he was a little bit more awake. So I said, well, where is that the worst pain? Thinking he would point to either his legs or his back. And so he starts poking his legs, moving and trying to find the pain that was totally gone. And his mood and his affect was much better. And that's the beauty of Kidney One. So you can always add the heart point like it shows there in that brochure to kind of try that. One or the other or both. So, good suggestions. Now, let's see what else here. So, right arm pain is balanced with left arm patch. Yes, if you're going after, because it's all connected, isn't it, Janae? If you look at a meridian chart, the same points that are on the right arm are on the left. and it's all connected through the trunk of the body. And it happens in seconds sometimes that you will get relief on one side of the body from patching, and bang, within seconds on the other side also. Sometimes it takes a few minutes, depending on the hydration issue and how much blockage there is. Okay. So here Nan's saying she had no success with a man who has a pain of 10 on approximately the small intestine 9 on the right side. Couldn't find a location to help him, even adding Eon and Glute thrown in. So now, maybe because Nan didn't delineate, let me give her a few minutes. Put down then, Nan, what you did try so we can eliminate those. And here Linda's saying she has some wrist, or someone does, wrist and hand pain, only with movement such as an upward dog in yoga or push-up inside the wrist and hand. Okay, Linda, I'll ask you the same thing. Has anything been tried? Okay, Nan tried on this man who had the pain of approximately 10 on, of a 10 on small intestine 9 on the right, and she couldn't find anything with the clock method. His other shoulder was really high while the right was sagging. She tried Ice Wave on SI9 on both sides. All right, small intestine 9 is a point. So let me tell you a quick story. And then she put an Eon on his spine and a glute nearby, and you still didn't get results, right? Okay, let me tell you a quick story. A young girl, migraine since the age of 10, started her period at age 12. It was horrible. Pain and heavy bleeding. She is now 17, and for the last 4 or 5 months, constant headaches, to the point where her dad's a doctor, had her on all kinds of medication, including as many as 3 Percocets a day, heavy-duty painkillers. She still had a headache so bad, and of course now mentally she's not alert. She can't even go to school. She is a senior in high school. She needs to graduate. So I said to her, okay, where is the pain? Well, right in front of her forehead is where she said. Because I'm thinking, gee, period problems, age 12, age 14 with the period. The periods are still so horrible that she's on birth control pills to suppress her period so she doesn't get bad cramps because they're so horrible. So I'm thinking hormones. So I said to her, gee, the pain's in the front of your, on top of your eyebrows? Oh, golly. I'm thinking to myself, this isn't a triple burner point. Triple burner, triple warmer is the meridian from the ring finger going up the arm into the back and up over into the head is what controls hormones. So I'm thinking, okay, let's put a white one on, triple burner 5 on the back of the arm. That's a point that we often use for hormone issues with, other things. And now I'm thinking that forehead thing, let's try that. Didn't do a thing. Did not touch the pain. I said, well, when your pain starts up, where does it come into your head? Oh, my neck gets tight, my shoulders get sore and tight. Oh, okay. Reach back on your upper shoulder and poke around and find a sore spot. She did. I put a tan patch there. Again, I just taped it on her clothing, and bang, down to a 2, from a 10 to a 2, with 2 patches. So it's kind of like you're looking for a lost item. You're looking for the blockage. Where's the blockage? Now, with this same girl, she learned how to patch herself real good. She, happy story, she's graduated, she's doing great. But one time she texted me early in the morning, the pain is back, I can't get relief. So I said, where's the pain? On my forehead. Where do you have your patches? I have a white patch on my arm. Where should I put the tan patch? I can't get any relief on my shoulders like I used to. I said, well, try the tan patch on the forehead. Bang, it was gone. So I looked up. What point? Gee, it's a gallbladder point, just above the eyebrow. So she has multiple blockages, both in the triple burner area and in gallbladder. But I didn't even know what point that was. I just went after the pain. Now we have a little more information. Okay, so now she's patching her gallbladder and liver on a frequent status with the ice wave and energy patches to keep it open. Okay, so now back to Nan. She could not find on small intestine 9 on the right a location that could help him. She tried the clock method. Then his other shoulder was off balance and the right one was sagging, and so she tried ice wave on small intestine 9 on both sides. Then she put an Eon on the spine, added a glute nearby, didn't get much help. She bracketed both the front and back of the painful area. And Nan, describe to people where small intestine 9 is. I would bring it up, but I'd have to get out of the slideshow and everything. So she bracketed front and back, and then she did both sides. So now you've got 4 patches on the back of the shoulder joint. And she got a little more help. Okay, she's got 4 patches on. For the most part, probably not necessary. So let's go on. This is a perfect lead-in, Nan. Hang on here. Let's go to, she was desperate. Yeah, don't you get that way? We all want to help so badly, don't we? Okay, so here is the kicker. With the ice wave, in addition to using those patches, you can use our 3YH. Now, they're totally different, right? They're a single patch. What does the Eon say to do? The Eon says to balance fibrinogen, which is part of your clotting mechanism, balance the nervous system, especially the autonomic nervous system, that decreases stress levels, cortisol, adrenaline rushes, that kind of stuff, and balance inflammation. So in the case of pain, there's at least 2 things balancing the nervous system because, gee, what causes pain? Nerves. Where's nerves? In your nervous system. And inflammation is behind every single malcondition of the body, from all the way down to clogged arteries, to, of course, all pain issues, to diarrhea or breathing problems. All of it has inflammation at the core issue. So the Eon would be a good patch, just like Nan used on this man with small intestine 9 area pain. So now, again, Nan, let me see, maybe you did. Give us an exact location of small intestine 9 in a description so I can read it to people. Now, what else could we use in? All right, carnosine. Carnosine is something just like glutathione, made in many, many cells of the body, especially in nerves and especially in muscles. It also has huge antioxidant capability, just like glutathione does. It gets rid of heavy metals, toxins, chemicals, all that junk that does what? It blocks energy of the body. So carnosine would be another one. A big clue I found was that carnosine works beautifully on that kind of pain that people describe as burning pain. And then good old glutathione. It also removes metals, wastes, and toxins. It, of course, is one of the anti-aging things that gets lower and lower as we get older. And anyone who has a painful, especially chronic condition, and or has a chronic condition of the body maybe that doesn't even have pain, maybe say it's a breathing issue they've had for years, you can be sure they have low glutathione and carnosine levels. So adding those two might be very helpful, just like what Nan did. Now, because she had identified about where this particular man's pain was on small intestine 9, she also was using things like a triangle with the Eon on the spine and small intestine 9 with the ice wave patches, I'm assuming. And so are you saying your description of small intestine 9 is on the back of the shoulder joint? Yeah, exactly. Okay. In fact, all of you reach around there on the back of the shoulder joint. Push on it. It is sore on a lot of people. And it also goes up through the thyroid. Big clue, small intestine. Look it up. It's a wonderful point, or meridian, that causes a lot of problems because look what it's connected to, the small intestine. And they say, don't they, that disease starts in the gut and health starts in the gut. So, okay, so she went for all of this, this knowledge she had about the pain. So now, what is paired organ system-wise with heart? Now, this is a little bit of acupuncture, but if you go up to some of the common acupuncture point places, for instance, okay, Natasha, sorry you have to leave. This will be posted up on Ice Life, and you'll be able to hear all of it later. She's leaving. So now, Nan, what organ system is paired? In fact, do you want to be, let me unmute you, okay? Because what organ system is paired with small intestine? Because that'll give you a big clue. Do you want to talk? I'm not seeing a yes from you. I don't want to unmute anybody that doesn't want to talk. So, you want to talk, Nan? Okay, yeah, because I haven't unmuted you. I was waiting for your permission. So, okay, let's unmute you. There you go. Okay, Nan.
Hi.
Talk away. Okay.
I don't know what's paired with small intestine.
Okay, where could you find that information? This is perfect.
I have a on my app. No, actually, I can't find that on my app. I have a acupuncture points. Oh, yin yang hang, like yin yang.
Yin Yang House. Okay, and let me write that in for everybody. It's one of our favorite. What's the other one? This is a favorite acupuncture place. You can go up and click on points and so on and get that. So anybody, Rose or anyone else, give us the paired organ to, because all organs are connected with other ones. And this again is acupuncture, which usually isn't necessary, but Nan was desperate. Because she wants to help, right? She wants to help
This
people.
guy is very well hydrated. He does minerals. They have Himalayan sea salt in their house.
Okay. So here's where I would go. Heart, thank you, Rose, is paired with small intestine. So if maybe you went to heart 3, that's why it's on the all over body pain point, and it comes from the hand also, just like small intestine does. You could have tried a heart point. Heart 3 is a beautiful point because it's easy to find. It's on the inner aspect of the elbow, at the end of the wrist of the elbow crease when you bend your elbow. In fact, everyone poke around there. Mine's a little tender. How about you guys? That's another place you might have gone to. And heart runs up the arm into the upper chest. So you can poke around on the heart meridian, find a sore spot, and try that with one part of the ice wave, such as maybe put white on the heart and tan on the point of pain. That doesn't work. What would you do?
Switch them.
Reverse them. Exactly.
I did do that. I did switch them.
But
I
you
did the whole clockwise, and then I reversed them, and then I tried one on the front, one on the back, and then
exactly.
I stood back and saw that his that side was totally sagging, and the other one was all cramped up. So that's when I patched him an equal spot on the other side, and he said that helped a little bit.
Okay, now here's another big clue, because his shoulders are off. That says that those muscles are cramping up, right? Maybe it's a neck issue. Look where small intestine goes. So maybe try bracketing the back. Now with bracketing, what I do is I go way up into the scalp, where that neck bone goes into the hairline and disappears under the occiput. And I put just white on the right to start with, just a few centimeters apart, and come down slowly every few seconds, asking them for feedback. And a lot of times with these arm issues, I find that it really is a neck issue. So that's another big clue. And then, yes, I would tip it off. I'm going to mute you, Nan.
Okay.
Just so you can have peace and quiet. I would tip it off, or tip it over, or top it off with the ice wave ones. And this is why. Because now, even though you're moving the energy with the ice wave, you may not be giving the body what it needs to heal, which is the 3 ice wave patches. I mean, YH patches. So, all right. So we have gone through some of these examples. Let me see on the questions if there's anything else. Good examples, ladies. Thanks for all your help. Okay, and anybody has to leave, just go ahead. It will be recorded and placed on Ice Life by good old Gordy within the next 24 hours or so. Okay, I think we are about done. Very, very helpful. Now, you realize how different ice wave is from energy. You do not have to use a point, but you can. You do not have to do white on right, tan on left, but you can. You do not, of course, have to remove clothing, but you can. It's so easy to use. So we often even use it for energy enhancement, because so many of us have gobs of ice wave on board in our purses or wherever we carry our patches, but we don't always have energy, and you can use it for many, many different things. All right, I think we are done then. Wonderful. And remember, tonight we'll do this again. It will be different because look at the topics that came up. It was wonderful, all your examples and stuff. So tonight will be another one. You can, of course, see that also, participate. Both will be posted on Ice Life. If you want the full recording, You can Skype me or email me or let me know on IceLife, although it'll be on IceLife. You won't need it. But anybody in my group can certainly, and Eileen, if you don't know what IceLife is, let's see. Do you want an invitation to IceLife? If you want to, put your email address in here, and I will send you an invite to IceLife. What IceLife is an online forum, kind of like Facebook. We give everyone 30 days free to check it out, and then it's $45 a year to be a member. People like Rose and Nan and so many of these people are members. They can ask questions. They can just read postings. All these webinars are posted and many others that we've done over the years. And you can then watch them at your leisure, just like a movie, and share them with anybody you might want to sit in front of your computer with you. So, okay, I have both your email addresses there. And I will send you, Janae and Eileen, invitations to IceLife. All righty. I'll sign off then. Thanks, everyone.